Hi gang, welcome back down to the farm. We are continuing on from last time. I'm just picking up the last bale here to put it onto the back of the trailer. Then we can give that to the cattle a bit later on. No rush, because today we've got to finish off getting our silage into the pit. I mean, we're not going to have mega amounts of silage early on, but it's a start. And you know what? Every little bit of money is going to help us into the future. And we might get another mow. I don't know if we'll get another mow in this season. But you just never know. Let's see if we can get the strap on there. Brilliant. So we can pick that up a little bit later. That's no big rush at the moment. Until we do need that trailer again, probably. But first things first, we're going to finish off this field here and pick up as much of this grass as we can to convert it. Then we'll have to roll that pit. What are you going to do with this? Ooh, I've got to put that over here, and I'll have to pick that up as well. A couple of trips I'll have to do back here. Yes, and then we've got our harvest to do on our brand new field that we bought at last time out, and probably try and get that field flipped and converted. Now, I do want to just check this timeline here. So we are getting ourselves sorghum, and then I guess we're not converting the field until, well, what can we put in it soon? We can't really put much in it, can we? I mean, we can put grass in it, oilseed. I don't think we want more grass. We can plant wheat and barley still. We might get this field turned around and put some wheat back into it. Alright, here we go. Can't get stuck on this log. See that there. So that should give us plenty of sort of grain and probably some crop for the chickens going forward. And we've got a big crop there ready to go for when we need to actually make some money on an actual field with our big field there when we harvest that, because that field, remember, we planted to make money on. We won't make bucket loads of money, but it's money nonetheless, and we've got to keep just chipping away at making money purely so we can buy other fields, buy more machinery that we're going to need to progress and further our farm and start to make it profitable, because at the moment it's definitely not going to be very profitable. So that's good. We'll get that field turned around with some wheat in it, just to keep our chicken feed stocks level, and that'll be ready by next year. Oh, I see we're still struggling a little bit with this. Now we do have to send this back. Why are we struggling here, team? There we go. We had a bit of gear issue. What I'll do is I'll come down here and pick this up. Doing a pretty messy job here. I'll do a U-turn and get it again. You know, I'll be happy if we get another couple of trailer loads out of this. Because that will then contribute to at least getting a decent amount of money in the back pocket when we come to sell it later on. We won't be using the silage straight up to convert into TMR. We'll probably wait and look till we get into next year, or till we get like a bigger, better tractor, I think is the way to go with that. Unfortunately though, given our budget and our resources, I can't see us getting some spectacular tractor unless something amazing turns up in the sales for an amazing price. Potentially we can go to the bank, ask them if they can help a budding young new farmer. But I think right now it's time for getting this field done, and we can get that silage pit sorted out, and then we'll move on to the wheat field. Well, this is definitely more than I would have hoped for. We've gotten 2 trailer loads, plus we're probably going to get over, well, we're definitely going to get over 50% here. So almost 2.5 trailer loads just out of this small piece. Going forward, that gives me hope for the future. So if we can actually maybe do a little bit of maintenance to this field. I don't have a roller. Maybe I could see if the shop has one I could lease or borrow off them for a small fee. Oh gee, we're going to get 60+% here. Brilliant. I'll go around and just pick up a couple of little skerricks here. But yes, when it comes to fertilizing, just maybe treating this field a little bit, we'll just check its lime levels, all that sort of stuff. We'll have to do the PHC testing on it and everything, just to see what we can do, just to increase the healthiness of this field a little bit more going into the future, so we can maybe just extract as much as we can out of it. Pick up stuff here. Every little bit helps at this age. Almost 70%. How good is that? Cracking on. We'll go and get this out, then we'll return this trailer to the actual shop, because I'm sure they'll want that back, and I'm sure we don't want to get charged an extra fee for having it a little bit too long. I did say that I only had a smallish sort of field to do, or a couple of fields to do, and they'd be back to them by the end of, before the end of this day anyway, so I don't think they're really stressed. They said it's okay, but I like to stick to my word. Right, our field over here, we're gonna have to wait a little bit. It's sort of, there's small weeds at the moment, so they're sort of more suited for a rake or a hoe, like a kind of small weeder. However, we don't have one, so we're just gonna wait till we're at spraying levels. Okay, try not to get too stuck on here. My little 2-wheel drive struggling. Come on, buddy. See if I can get a bit of a run up here. We're kind of doing a bit of flattening as we go as well, so it's not too bad. Sometimes you can just give yourself a little kick. Okay, we're out. Crikey, that was an effort. Right, see if I can get a run up here to get in there. We are flattening it, but we're losing some spill out the front. I might have to put the bucket on and just pop that back in there at some point. Come on, little Massey. Right, let's see if we can do some flattening here a little bit, because we're struggling. We probably couldn't get much more in it with this small tractor anyway, the way it's going. Right, come on. I'm just wondering if it's better job for the combine doing this. Okay, keep going, keep going, keep going. Let's see if we can bring this in now. Oh no, it's all just gonna dump there. We're stuck. Come on. Oh no. Well, I'm wondering now if I can pull this out with the combine. Might have to be the go. Yeah. But hey, it's worth a shot. We call this backyard farming. Basically, here's a little story about my father. My father has been a car driver, a race car driver, circuit racing here in Australia. And back in the day, he used to do it quite professionally. But we can, brilliant. Let's get this out of here. And because of their budget, they weren't the richest. I mean, we've never been the richest family. But racing's a really expensive sport. But Dad had a really big passion for it. I'm just going to unclip this up here, out of the way. So, my uncle and my dad and their friends always used to call themselves backyard races, basically, because they didn't have the big factories, they didn't have the big engine suppliers, all the big fancy sponsors. They just did what they did to get through sometimes. And if that meant the gear shift lever during a race snapped off, it meant they got a pair of multi-grip pliers and they pretty much tack welded it onto the shaft of the now we're stuck on here. Brilliant. They pretty much oh, I'm gonna have to get out and get that a little messy. Yeah, so they would get multi-grip pliers, attach it to the actual gear stick and give it a little tack weld and that'd be their gear shifter for the rest of the race. Lots of little things like that they would do. So basically the moral of the story I'm trying to put here is sometimes when you don't have a lot, just got to use what you can and use your brain to try and figure out how you could do it. Much like now, I didn't think I'd get the combine stuck, but I have. I might need to go get that drum. I don't think I'll be able to lift the wheel out of this. Unless I can just give it a little bit of support and I can drive it off. Okay. Not quite. Option 2. Let's go get the drum and I might be able to get a bit more purchase on that front wheel. So my father has pretty much lived his life like that. My parents don't struggle for money anymore. They've owned their own businesses and sold them off and, you know, they do all right for themselves. But Dad's always kept that mentality of just see what we've got to make it work and don't spend too much money because there's always a solution that we can try before having to spend money. Which is a good way to look at it because it's actually taught me a lot of lessons to try and figure out problems and solutions rather than just throw money at the problem and the solution. What if we add, so if we do this, bring that in a bit closer, and we actually put this here, something for the front wheels to drive on here. A bit like that. Like that? Yeah, a bit like that. Now this is, no, what you might have to get in a little bit further. Like that. See how that goes. Oh, almost. It just sort of spat it out, but it was giving it enough purchase. We're gonna get this, team. We are gonna get this. Okay, let's try that. Hey! You know what? I owe that to Dad. Thank you, Dad, for the life lessons that you give me in trying to figure things out. Now, I probably did a little bit of damage to the machinery. I'll check over it a little bit later, but hopefully nothing too bad. Right, let's just park this little messy here for a sec. We are going to have to go over and get that bale trailer. I'm not really rushed about that. All right, we're going to have to put the bucket on the front anyway to scoop up some of this stuff. Now, do you want to try this again? However, maybe try from the other end. And just slow on that lump, right? Oops, just slow on that lump purely because you just sort of half up it, half down it till you just get it rolled out a little bit more. So don't go all the way over the top of it is what I'm saying. The hardest thing is I wish I could get it lined up on one wheel. Which I'm going to have to try and do. Come back. We're just going to have to work it like this. Yeah, a bit like that. It's just going to take a little bit of work. Alright, so it's pretty slow going doing it that way. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to kick into a little time lapse here. Oops, after I stop crashing the harvester. No good. We are going to need the harvester around here to pick up the actual header shortly anyway, so I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to put the bucket on the massey here. I'm going to clean up all this. I'm actually going to knock the top of that off with the bucket. Where's my bucket? It's just there, so that's fine. Yeah, so I'm going to knock the top of that lump off with the bucket. I think that's just the quicker and smarter move. The better play here for that. I'll just leave the tines here. Right. And then we can get that pit finished up and covered. And that will be good going forward. Now, we've got a fairly decent sized bucket here for this little fella. But I just think it's the smarter play. Well, 99% and 100. Brilliant. Looking lovely, and that's pretty good, I've got to say. Pretty happy with that. Let's come out this way because we're very close to expanding it. Oops, I might have to just drive on their grass field quickly. I've parked that really badly, Ham. Yeah, Ham, you have. All right. Cows are mooing away. Let's have a look at this. So we've got a total of 36,984. I'm absolutely chuffed with that. Okay. Let's put the blanket silo on. And off we go. That's probably the neatest silage job I've ever done, to be honest. All right, so that's going to take a little bit to ferment, a few months, but it's going to be ready for that winter period. Okay. Do I want to move that? I'm going to move the windrower out of the way, and in fact I might just put the windrower away. We didn't use it, but it's going to be very handy to have going forward when we've got to make some hay. Make hay where the sun shines. Hey, Ham. Hey, Ham. Yes, Ham. Nice puns, friendo. Okay, where are you going to put this? I've been I sort of, after last episode, I just went around and tucked a couple of things away. Watch out, chickies. We've got some eggs there too. Brilliant. Oh, I love you, chickens. Such good things. So it won't live in there, and it's not going to live in there because that's our other trailer. I mean, it could live in there with the combine, or I could just tuck it up in there. Sure, why don't we just put it up in here? It's I've moved the actual baler out of there. The baler tucks up it next to the water tank in another little hidey hole, just opposite the workshop out there. So probably a little bit better. And this thing can just tuck up in here. It'll be fine. Good to keep our machinery nice and protected. Okay. Brilliant. Lovely. Let's just have a look at the field at the moment. Not really telling us much there. This here tells us it's fertilized. So another layer of fertilizer is definitely going to help us with that. And we'll have to check the lime levels on it at some point too and see what's going on there. Drop this over near the cow barn. And it's time to do some harvesting. I think our new little sorghum field's not really going to take us a long time to harvest anyway. It's not huge. And it's in a nice little square shape just down the road. So it's not like we bought it on the other side of town, of Fichthal town here. It's quite extensive. We should go for a bit of a town drive, a bit of a tour around the town actually, and have a little explore at some point in the future. But for now, we've got to do what we've got to do. Get these jobs done and get this farm back into working order after the chaos that was it was left in. Right. Can't believe I got the combine bogged. Although I can actually, it's me, it's Ham. I can believe it. Let's try and line this up. I parked this very close, didn't I? Okay. Sure, he won't mind us doing a U-turn on his little weedy field here. Try not to do it all the time anyway. We have to get that trailer sent back too. I'll contact the shop and let them know it's sitting there and ready to go back. We come down the road and pick it up. Get our beacon on. Get our indicator on. We're pulling out. Beautiful day here on Fichthal. Hello. There's a car coming our way. Beat it. Looks like our Uber driver. Gee, crikey, he must be in a hurry. Had to pull out and hit us. Like he can't see a big combine harvester right there. All right, I'm going to pull into here. I don't know who owns this little property here with this this silage pit, but it's quite a good little spot. Wouldn't mind getting it for myself, to be honest. Right. Time for you and I. This is not a big field. This is not going to take very long, and I'll be surprised if we actually have to do an empty here. I'll just do a quick little headland here. Beautiful. And if we get a decent amount here to go into our storage, it's all the better for us too. So there's not much more for me to tell you. The yield is not great, but it's better than nothing. And we do have a little field here we can turn around, produce some extra grain out of anyway for next season. All right. For a minute there, I didn't think we were going to get even 50%, but I'll take 2,775 litres. That should be very good for us going forward. There's another thing I want to do down at our grass field. I didn't show you all, but we do have a lot of trees around our water banks and generally near the bridge. Back on there. Yeah, near the bridge where we cross into our grass field and along that riverbank, there's a lot of trees in there that I kind of think we could actually clear some of those trees down and utilize some more space there. I can't believe I've been indicating the whole time, Ham. You always do that. That is the one thing I always forget. The indicator. Yeah, so there's some trees, big pine trees we could probably clear out, make a bit of money on as well. And it might be able to give us the chance to expand our field just that little bit extra, because more arable crop, I've got to say, not a bad idea. Now, something I've actually never done or never gotten into, which is another option, is clear that bushland and the scrub and the sort of scraggly trees that are in there, and I could potentially plant back another bit of forest there that we could harvest later. So we could actually put a proper little tree farm in there, and who knows, maybe we could sell trees at Christmas time, maybe we could sell it to the local carpentry store, anything like that. Also turn that beacon off too. I might have to empty this into the trailer to be able to get it into the actual silo itself, so we'll just go around there and check that shortly after I drop the header trailer off. I need a better spot for the header trailer. It's probably in the way down the side here. If I could clear out that bush scrub, I could clear out this scrub just in here, somehow clear that out. I could probably tuck it up in here, you know. I don't want to kind of just jam it up in there now with that out being cleared up, because I don't know what's down there. It's got to be a better spot for this. I'm just going to drive around here just to check. But for the now, I'll just tuck it back in here, because it's probably going to be a bit, unless we get a contract job we can do to get some more sorghum out of someone's ground. I haven't checked, but we're kind of, I'm at the point where I've got a little bit of stuff to do. So we might miss out on some other, helping other people with their harvest jobs. Just going to put that there. I'm just going to put this back here, and I think that'll be fine. All right, brilliant. Push that. Probably angle it better for us anyway. Okay, good. That's good. Oh, wait, ham. Yeah, I got a bit excited. What did you forget to do? Oh, I forgot to empty the sorghum out. Farmer Ham strikes again. Forgetful Ham. Yeah, that's more like it. Forgetful Ham. Now, this is what I was saying. I might need to get the trailer out because I don't think I'll be able to get the combine close enough. No, I think we've got to get the trailer out. So, I might clear that bit of scrub out there too. Just sort of start clearing up the yard a bit. It's a bit scraggly, a bit overgrown here and there. Overgrown, I don't mind trees. I love nice gardens and greenery everywhere, but sometimes the scrub, you know, can cause damage to the property, buildings, and it can cause mold, it can cause rust, you know, water buildup, leaves build up in gutters. It can, it can cause rodents and infestations. Right, 2,500, 2,700 litres anyway, but we'll get that in the silo, and it's nice there to have there for a rainy day. All right, here we go. Put this in the pit. Should have plenty of storage left over. Beautiful. It comes out quicker out of the trailer, doesn't it? Okay. Put this away. Back where I had it before. Then we can do a little bit of show and tell, and I can show you what I'm talking about the trees down near the riverbank. So just through here, you can see it just all could use a little bit of a cleanup, which should kind of really open up our area and make it just easier for accessing around the place, seeing less rodents, less damage it can do to buildings. Basically, as soon as we step off the other side of this bridge here, all that tree and all that shrub is all ours to do with. And I don't want to exactly destroy the ecosystem too much because the wildlife do use it for protection. They use it for living in. But all these trees here and up along here and in here, these big pine trees as well, especially, or spruces. Are they spruces? What are they? It's a spruce, yes. These spruces here can get chopped down and converted. And what we can do is potentially just open up our land just a little bit more. Even down here, taking not all the way to the riverbank, but you can see how much land we've actually got here. We could actually take it to about here, straight across. And that still gives us a heck of a lot of property just there that we can extend our grass field to. And I've got to be honest, I think it's really worth doing, especially for us early on. So if we could just cut it back into about here and come straight across through this way, following the riverbank and up here like that, right? That's going to give us so much more field, basically. And I could probably just take a few of these big spruces out of here just to give us some extra money. But this scrubland in here, I think our boundary is generally about here or something. So anyway, that's sort of what I've been looking at just there to potentially help us expand a little bit with the property that we have. So yeah, that's sort of it for today's episode. Thanks for hanging out. Pretty straightforward episode today, even though, like usual, like I mentioned, backyard. We're sort of backyard farmers a little bit, the way we have to deal with things, using the little massey here to dig the dig the combine out of the silage pit and stuff. But hey, the job's done. We cover back on this. Get this trailer in here. It can just sort of live there by itself at the moment. The other one's got silage bales on it. But that's it for me, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thanks for hanging out a little bit more. We've got plenty of work more to do as we flip our field and get it ready for planting wheat in it next episode. Then we're going to try and do some networking around town. Get our face out there a little bit. All right, stay safe. Stay glued to your screen. I'll see you guys soon. Get out of here.